Notice, in accordance with the new copyright regulations, this episode of Quoth Raven is intended for ages 16 and up, while some of the content we will feature is kid friendly. The context of the episode is to address adults and inform those that content for them to research as consumers in service of their youth. In other words, parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, teachers, librarians, etc. There is the possibility of adult language present on the episode as well. Rated TV 16 and up. Welcome once again to another edition of Quote the Raven, Lewis Bright Raven. I'm your host, Lewis Bright Raven, 29-year veteran writer, editor, and illustrator of comics, science fiction, fantasy, and horror and role-playing games. And tonight is Thursday, June 3rd, 2021. We usually have our roundtable discussion this week. Been waiting to hear back from some guests. They didn't get back with me yet. So we're just going to go ahead and go into answer questions and see where we go from there. Here we are. Our first question of the night. Michael Vokitz, who unfortunately is not going to be watching this because his wife is in the hospital. She had infection after spinal surgery. We wish you all the best, Cami. Get well soon. The question is, do you think the publisher should listen to the fans when they complain and try to correct the issues causing said complaint? That's a very complex question. I think it depends on what the complaint is and what it is they're saying needs to be corrected. I think what he was asking about was something that happened recently, where a representative of Heavy Metal Magazine or an editor for Heavy Metal Magazine told some complaining fans that they didn't want them around if this is the way they were going to behave, basically. It had to do with Tarna, the character that is best known for. She's in the skimpy leather sword girl character with the white hair that rides the bird and stuff. Anyway, in the newest storyline, they had her put on armor so she's covered up, and the fans complained about it. And Heavy Metal kind of shot back at them, and reasonably so, because you have to look at what the context of what was going on in the story. You have to look at the context of what the story is about with the character. It's not changing the character to put a new costume on him temporarily to serve the purpose of the story. So, that sort of thing, some of the other trivial things like Nazi Cap. People got mad because Captain America was a Nazi for a few issues. Oh my gosh. He wasn't even really a Nazi. It was a whole different reality type thing. It's like, people need to stop overreacting. Now, that being said, does that mean we don't listen to fans? If a fan has a legitimate concern about certain things, I guess listen, but with a filter, I guess. And when you hear a good idea or you hear something and you really hear it for what it's intended and it makes sense that it would be beneficial to the character or to the property or whatever, then yeah. But otherwise, you're the one telling the story, and I don't know. It's a complicated topic on that one, Michael. Um, I wish I had more guests here tonight to discuss this one, because this is one that I wish get different perspectives on. We probably come back to this question another time. Mm-hmm. Our next question. Anonymous asks, how much time per week do you spend writing? And let's include editing in there as we are. Anonymous asked that. Um, Between 65 and 80 a week. Now, how much of that is translatable to income? How much of that is translatable to work I'm doing for these podcasts, and so on? It's actually more than 80. It's more like 90 to 100 once you start editing the podcast stuff. So, um, yeah, it's a lot of work. Wish I made more money for it. But that's, anywhere from 50 to 100 hours a week. That's what I spend writing, drawing, editing. Next question. Multiple persons have asked, do you have any convention appearances planned, supposed to be planned for this summer? Technically not at the moment. As far as conventions go, I do have a store appearance coming up in August at Scratch and Spin Records and Collectibles in West Columbia in August for Free Comic Book Day. And I don't know exactly when the Charlotte Comic Con is in August. I have to check into that and see what's what with that, if I'm going to do it or not. It depends on how close it is to the Scratch and Spin date and a whole bunch of other things. So I might do that one in August. I might not. And those are the only two things that have come up that I've been asked about or invited to or anything. So we'll see if there's anything else forthcoming. Next question. Mike asks, if you could go back in time to your teenage self, what advice would you give? That's a question. Know when to let go of things, I guess. Probably be a good piece of advice. There's so many people throughout my life that I know they could do something if someone would just push them to get them to do it, type thing. And I wasted a lot of time and energy that I could have invested in myself and done things myself instead of trying to help others be who they claimed they wanted to be or said they could do, but then didn't do, and I had to push them to do it and stuff like that. I guess either an awareness to realize when someone's a lost cause and let it go, or just focus more on myself. That would be my advice. Next question is from Kevin T, and he asks, have you ever or do you ever throw away finished artwork? Yep, all the time. I imagine there'd be a lot of collectors out there who would be shocked how much stuff I throw out. Part of it is space issues. Part of it is you see something and then, months or years later, you're just like, I don't want anything to do with that anymore. That's ugly. Bleh, bad art. Throw it out. And another thing is, sometimes, and I've learned, it's kind of weird. If you held on to everything, eventually someone will come along in your life and want it and buy it from you, it seems like. But do I really want to wait around and lug around every piece of artwork I've ever done to every convention and see who's going to show up? Or have it up on a website forever until someone buys it or something like that, So eventually, when something just is beyond my tolerance, and it's just, no, I don't want that out in the world, I'll destroy it, type thing, throw it away. That's kind of how that goes, I guess. But um, yeah, that's it. Kevin T also asks, "What's the most amount of money you were ever paid for an original page or piece of artwork of yours? Have you ever seen your original art sell for huge money above and beyond what you sold it for?" Okay. Okay. Um, I don't really know what the most expensive piece someone paid me for off the top of my head. Um, it was under 1,000, but it was, I don't know, probably in the $750 to $900 range, I guess. I don't know. But that was a commission specific image over large size artwork and stuff like that. Um, as far as that goes, for any one original illustrative piece. As far as people selling my artwork for more than what they paid me for it, yeah, I've seen it all the time. Um, but I've never seen anything that was like outrageously bad. I mean, per se. I mean, I've seen on eBay some people have wanted to try and sell my art, my sketchbook Wingman, for like $50, and it's just signed. It's like, guys, I have copies of it at home. Just buy it from me for cover price, $10 plus shipping. Yeah, and you're actually getting it from me, not from some third party um, type thing. But that's about like the most egregious thing I've seen is that. A couple of times on eBay, I've seen it like $25 to $50 for that sketchbook when you can get it from me direct. So at least for now. Now, if once I sell out of those, which will be a while before I do that, I'm sure. But if I was sold out of them, I didn't have them, and then some people were selling them for 20, 50, whatever people could get for them, then it's whatever the market demand is. But when I have stock of something, the, come to me. I'll show you what your demand is. uh, so that's about where that stands, I guess. As far as outside of comics or illustration for commercial purposes with a entertainment bent, I guess you could say. I think the most I was ever paid was like $4,000 for painting, um, and that was a mural wall painting of animals and stuff like that for a nursery for for yeah, daycare center. Mm-hmm. And that was like 3 weeks of work and stuff before they opened it up and stuff like that. So you know and it was probably a good 120 hours worth of work doing that piece. So and we're talking, oh geez, how long across was that mural? Something like 35 feet across and 10 or 12 feet high, I think it was, for the whole thing that was sitting there. So it was like it was a pretty big room, and I had to do a lot of stuff on that. So that was probably the biggest piece for that, or biggest amount of money I've received for an assignment in that respect for an individual work. Uh, Not a book is not individual work; those are like collective pages or whatever. But one thing, I guess you could say that would be it. Next question, if we have any. Yes. Do you have any more crowdfund books to mention? Uh, yeah, we do. Just a second. Let me see if I can find them real quick here. I am calling them up. I just have to Takes a few minutes, folks. Sorry about that. Wasn't even thinking about that before the show. Uh, okay. Alrighty, we're gonna stop sharing that for a moment and share a different screen with you guys. And this is Carbon and Silicon and Shangri-La. It's a two-book set by Mathieu Bablé, in hardcover and slipcase. See, there's 14 days to go. That yellow thing up there is saying the Kickstarter is going to be going offline for for about an hour or so while they re-update and get their site cleaned up in about 4 hours time. But they'll be up and running again, tomorrow or whatever. Again, this is 14 days to go. They got 981 backers. Certainly past their goal of 7,500 at 71,228. Let's see what it's about. Okay. Um, they're going to upgrade with a prequel comic. They're going to do it's 78,000. Where are they at? 72, 71. Okay, so another 7,000. They'll get the prequel comic that will get added to it. You get a bonus print. Again, these are pretty cool things. I'm looking forward to getting these. I'm probably gonna. I haven't ordered it yet, but I will. Um, I'm just gonna get both hardcovers most likely with um, a plate, I guess. I don't know, but or maybe the slipcase set. I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably do that. Maybe we'll see which one I want to spend more money on. I might get the $60 tier instead of the other. I don't know. We'll see. But you know, Both stories looked interesting to me. Um, there's a few more storylines here for each one of the stories. Okay, a little more explanation than what was given in the first one, first video. But overall, like I said, I'm pretty much gonna get the either the both hardcovers edition or the one with the slipcover. I haven't made my mind yet. The slipcase edition is $20 more. Do I really need a slipcover slipcase? You know, I don't know. But we'll see. But that is one item that I'm looking at. Another item was just launched today. Is Filth and Grammar. This is Shelley Bond's comic book editor's secret handbook. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. And as you can see, it's growing.
Secret histories, stolen tips, making comics step by step. Filth and Grammar by Shelley Bond, Laura Hall, Imogen Mangle, Sophie Dodgson, and comics superstars of the past 3 decades. What does a comic book editor actually do? Or more important, what doesn't a comic book editor do? It's a step-by-step guide on how to make comics from idea to execution from the point of view of master control, the person who keeps the comics moving and the talent inspired, the Jill of all trades who juggles plates and fire becomes 24/7 to make everyone on the team look good, aka the editor.
And as you can see, this was just launched like today at like 4 o'clock. So 5 hours in, and they're already at 83% of their goal. So you know this book is going to get cleared, and as rightfully it should be. She's done a lot of Eisner Award-winning work as an editor, and whatever other things you want to say about Shelley. She's one of the top editors in the industry. I did already order this. I got the soft cover and swag for $30, so that'll be coming out in March of next year. But that's what I'm getting for that one. And finally, for crowdfunding this week, we have the Nubalizer, which is kind of a cool thing. It just passed its goal like in the last hour, which is cool. Still got plenty of days to go. It's got 3 weeks to go. 74 backers so far. I'm probably going to back. I know I'm going to back it. I just don't know what level I'm going to back it at just yet. But this is from Brian Rodman.
Hey everybody, I am Brian Rodman and I create comics. You may have seen my previous series, Memoirs of an Angel, or you may have seen me on the Dastardly Dingoes podcast on YouTube. And if you haven't, then you should go to brianrodman.com and check those out because they're pretty stinking awesome. But today, I'm here to talk to you about a brand new series, a post-apocalyptic action comedy called The Nebulizer. So The Nebulizer is about a chronic asthmatic who's named Connor and his feisty AI nebulizer suit named Albie as they fight through a post-apocalyptic world filled with allergen mutants. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And it knows it's ridiculous, and you're going to love it because it's ridiculous. And the best part about this, honestly, for me, is that this comic is for everybody. All ages will enjoy this. I mean, the worst thing in this comic is monster guts, and let's be honest, what kid doesn't like monster guts, right? You know?
Right.
What?
I don't think all kids like monster guts.
There are kids that don't like monster guts?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
This comic is for everybody. So before the blast, because there has to be a blast, it's post-apocalyptic, right? So Connor's doctor created a vial that really stores all of his medication that he can put inside of his suit. And the catch is, it only lasts for 3 years, and this vial keeps him alive. So him and Albie are on the hunt for this last remaining vial that hopefully is out there somewhere. It's Bubble Boy meets Mad Max with a dash of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and I Am Legend. So it's a lot of fun. And this project means quite a bit to me personally because I have chronic asthma and I have had that my whole life. So when I was growing up, and even now, when I can't go outside, I can't do things with my friends, I'm in front of a comic book or a TV, watching cartoons or movies, and I'm drawing. Really, it's because of asthma that I became a comic creator to begin with. And I really wanted to create a character that asthmatics, young and old, can identify with and look to and be like, hey, that's really cool. That's a great representation of asthma and asthmatics in the comic book world. So this project in particular provides a lot of really cool ways to jump into the world of the nebulizer. We'll of course have digital and physical reward tiers for the issue itself. We'll also have an amazing variant cover by Seth the Moose, whose art is featured in stories like Floppy Cop and Tales of Mystery. For the higher tiers, we'll have prints and bookmarks, but we'll also have a really cool tier where you yourself will be able to be drawn as an allergen mutant. Who doesn't want that, right? And we also may or may not have some really cool surprises along the way. So scroll through, see what reward tier fits you best, and jump right into the world of the nebulizer. Thanks so much for watching.
Let's take a quick look at some of this artwork. It's pretty cool looking. Mm-hmm. Very colorful, vibrant. And I like the idea, though, that it also pertains and promotes, like it says, kind of a role model type character for asthmatics, representation for an asthmatic character in comics. So I think that's kind of an interesting take. So, again, that is Nebulizer #1, and we'll probably review these books again down the road, a little more in depth. Maybe even get some of the people on the show as guests. So hopefully, so that'll be what I had for crowdfunding this week. So let's see if there's any other questions. Nope. So if you do have questions, email me at quothravenlbr72@gmail.com, subject QTR Q&A. That brings us to our next segment, which is going over the reviews from Friday that we didn't finish. Last Friday, we had a conversation about manga and different books I was going to review, and there was a few books I didn't quite finish up with, hadn't had a chance to finish reading them all, so we'll just go quickly through those real quick. And we'll start with the Rough Guide to Manga. Publisher is Rough Guide's Penguin Books, 1895. Writer is Jason S. Yadao, and its genre is historical review, released in 2009. And it says just with layman's interview book. That is a book that we'll talk about shortly, Manga Masters. But just as with that book, this book talks about the different kinds of manga there are, for which age groups, with a little more historical perspective and more depth. Then Yadao goes into a description of 50 different essential manga series that he considers to be the most popular or culturally significant. I was familiar with about 60% of the works discussed in the collection, and not all of them am I familiar with via the printed versions of their stories. As many manga are also anime shows and films, my exposure was more through those formats. I am annoyed that series such as Appleseed, Area 88, What's Michael, Bio Booster Armored Guyver, Dominion, May the Psychic Girl, and others weren't included, but you can't include everything. And seeing as this was made in 2009, a lot of the stuff I just named was more popular back in the 80s, early 90s. They're going to go a little more modern with what they're going to represent in a modern collection. So, it is what it is. There could be plenty of follow-up editions to review additional works like those I just cited. And I kind of wish someone would do these by the decade instead of just an overview, so that both the uninitiated and the so-called fans who think they know comics or know manga and really don't could be introduced to content they're not familiar with. I know way too many otaku who don't know anything about anything manga or anime except the stuff that they grew up with, which is often way too modern for me to have a conversation with them about it. Recommended for ages 12 and up. I gave it 4 stars. Our next book is Manga's Masters of the Art. The publisher is Collins Design, HarperCollins, for $24.95, written by Timothy R. Lehman. Art various. It's historical review and interviews with manga creators. It was released in 2005. And this gives a brief overview of the history of the manga form and discusses some of the more popular styles in the art form, and then interviews 12 of the most celebrated manga creators of the era. It's more like 16. But there's 12 interviews, but I'll explain in a second. Creators such as Asamiya Kia Clamp, which is actually 4 women. That's why I say it's more like 16. Furuyama Yusamaro, Inui Takahiko, Maro Shihiro, Taniguchi Yiro, Tsuno Yuko, and others were interviewed for this book. It's a very interesting read. Lehman isn't trying to select the best or a who's who of the best manga talents per se. Though each of the 12 to 16 creators for review, again, Clamp is actually 4 women creators, are indeed exemplary at what they do and what they contributed to the art form. But to try and really represent the whole of what manga is and all of its myriad forms would be impossible to collect into a singular volume. Again, like the Rough Guide, I think there should be like multiple volumes of this. The interviews are interesting, as is Lehman's approach to the interviews. Having been a journalist myself, I see Lehman treating each interview both in conversational context, but also attempting, well, he's not trying to play mind games, but get the creator to be more psychological or philosophical about about what they themselves are about and how that translates into their work. Several of them came from the animation scene before they got into manga, and that experience affects how they approach drawing and writing manga. Several of them are talking about why they have certain interests in certain, sometimes adult, subject matters and how that is perceived or accepted or not accepted in Japan, and then how it's related to in America as well. So there's a lot of interesting information and interesting insights in the book. I do think Layman could do several volumes of this interviewing manga's creators and make a mint. Today's U.S. U.S. comics fandom is heavily interested in the manga and manhwa. That's the Korean scene of the comics market. It is recommended for ages 14 up, and again, 4 out of 5 stars. Our next book is Planetes Volume 1 Omnibus from 1999. The publisher is Dark Horse. The creator is Makoto Yukimura. The genre is science fiction. Released December 2015. And what it's about. Space is messy. Someone's got to clean it up. In the 2070s, increased interplanetary travel has led to crisis-level amounts of dangerous space debris, and someone has to clean it up. Planetes follows a space garbage crew of aspiring explorer Hachimaki, Morning Yuri, and Secretive Fee. Hachimaki, Yuri, and Fee are a crew that are on that beat, each with their own goals, tendencies, and personal problems. Hachimaki dreams of deep space exploration with his own ship. Yuri is still recovering from the death of his wife in an accident caused by orbiting debris. And Fee is secretive, but there's a lot going on under the surface. Just trying to do their jobs in an age of space-age environmental concerns and new vistas of exploration, the crew deals with Hachi's fear of isolation, which hampers his hopes of joining a Jupiter mission. And there's also keeping an eye on the wreckage for signs of Yuri's lost wife. And they become unwitting heroes when the only place a Fee can still smoke is threatened by space terrorists. This volume is complete with color pages that were never before seen in America. This was the winner of the Sayun Award for Best Science Fiction, the Japanese equivalent of the Hugo Award. My thought is, wow, this is a marathon read. Over 500 pages of story. I think it's like 530 in the collection. And this is just volume 1. The story is a bit disjointed. It jumps around from character to character, and the author isn't entirely sure at first who their focal point of view character is. It takes them about 3 or 4 chapters to get into making Hachi the focal character. Each of the characters could have been the focal character, and really this story could have been effectively 3 different books, 3 different stories. And in a way, this is 3 books smooshed together into one omnibus. But given how it was originally released from Japan, I would say Yukimura had always done this thing, had done it a certain way, and he just wasn't sure of the story structure initially. He really tends to hit his stride about 200 to 225 pages into the book, and then you can really see the growth of his art and the storytelling explode. And as he becomes comfortable with himself and what the story is that he's trying to tell. If you're into serious science fiction and you enjoy the work of authors such as Arthur C. Clarke's Space Oddity trilogy or Isaac Asimov's works or Kim Stanley Robinson's Mars trilogy, then I believe this is a good book for you to try. If you're not into serious SF but the social sciences and you're looking for more space, action, adventure, more Star Wars-y type stuff, then you might want to pass. The book is for ages 14 and up. It is 4 stars. Here's some of the artwork. And this is like really early in the image. Or early in the story, I should say. Mm-hmm. Hold on a second. I'm trying to find out something here. Facebook's being fussy. Not sure why it is doing what it's doing, but it is doing what it's doing. We'll see what's going on here. Oh, there's pop culture. All right, how you doing, buddy? Did you ever check your email? Pop culture was watching the professionals and their trivia night that they were having against one another, and I lost interest and left about, I don't know, 15 minutes before my show started, but they air usually about an hour before I do. Anyway, this is some of the artwork from Planetes, and here's another set of pages. And lastly, for the manga reviews that I didn't get to last week, we have Reggie 12 for $21.95 from Drawn and Quarterly. He's doing okay. He got about half of them right. We'll check email shortly. Well, basically, dude, it was a question of whether or not you wanted to join in and talk about the previews catalog live on camera, or you just wanted to sit in the chat room and talk. That's all the email was. So anyway, Reggie 12, publisher Drawn and Quarterly, creator Brian Ralph, genre humor mecha robot action adventure, released in 2013. And what it's about is the adventures of Reggie 12, his creator Dr. Tinkerton, and his pals Donald 14 and Casper the Talking Cat, as they have lab fights, battles against giant robots, destroying the city, and other adversaries. It's a very cute book. Clearly, the creator was influenced by the classic manga Astro Boy, but more or less meant his version to be more of a humor strip than an extended narrative story. Each page pretty much tells a complete story. It's funny enough, and for the most part, it's earnest humor intended for most ages. I wouldn't have a problem with mid-grade school readers reading it. I do recommend it for ages 10 and up. There is one page that maybe might be questionable, and I'll show that in just a minute. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. And here's a couple of these pages. And it's nice. It's cartoony. Again, the only objectionable page in the book is on the right, with the robot flipping the bird finger there panel. Kind of wish they hadn't been in there. Then it would definitely be all ages, but some parents might have a conniption about that. But other than that, it is pretty much all ages material. It's all black and white with the blue screen tones throughout. It's a nice overall comic. Yeah, don't worry about it. He said he hadn't even, pop culture says he hasn't even looked at his previews catalog. very much Astro Boy inspired. And that covers our manga. So that takes us over to previews now. This is the front cover to the June 2021 catalog. It's $3.99. Publisher is Diamond Distribution's catalog. And it was released on May 23rd. Diamond's monthly order catalog with 350 to 400 pages of products to order. No DC books. DC stopped distributing through Diamond in 2020. For those who are new to the show and don't know about the history of what's going on in our distribution. Also, this catalog really only carries about 8% of all comics produced in the U.S. The other 92% is either print-on-demand, digital exclusive, or crowdfunded and ordered directly from the creator or publisher. A lot of retailers don't bother doing that. They just stick with Diamond. That being said, there are plenty of things worthy of notice and consideration in the catalog, so let's go through it. Let's start with the pre-orders for the Free Comic Book Day, August 21, and this is the back cover for King Spawn on the same book. The one book that I'm personally interested in, semi-interested, is We Lived the Last Days one-shot that's supposed to be a prequel to the events of the miniseries. Since I got the miniseries, I'm going to get that preview book, more or less. With that having been said, there are plenty of other worthwhile books for retailers to promote through the Free Comic Book Day stuff. If they want to keep the popularity of something as Kill the Children going, it wouldn't hurt to give the quick reprint entry book Enter the House of Slaughter to market to new audiences and then get them buying the trade collections. Dark Horse has an all-original dual-sided book featuring Critical Role and the Witcher licenses on page 30. Not my thing, but clearly both of those properties have a good audience, both video games and film and television and books. So if I see no reason not to order or market that if you're a retailer. IDW and Marvel have a Star Wars High Republic and an Avengers Hulk original dual book respectively on page 31. And Titan Comics has an original Blade Runner one-shot on page 32. And there are several other titles as well. But that is pretty much what I grabbed my attention from the Free Comic Book Day section. The first section that they talk about is Image Comics. Image is always a kind of mixed bag for me. The books that I'm ordering are The Me You Love in the Dark, #1 on page 50. Second Chances, #1 on page 52. Deep Beyond, #7 on page 74. And Jules Verne's Lighthouse, #505 on page 79. Now, yes, Witcher is huge. I'm going to go ahead and open this up real quick. Let's see which ones I said. There. Okay. The Me You Love in the Dark is on page 50. There's some of the artwork for it. And it's written by Scotty Young with art by Jorge Corona. These are the guys who do, this is their follow-up to Middle West, which was a fairly popular series for them. But this is a brand new tale, and it's about an artist named Ro. When she retreats from the grind of the city to an old house in a small town to find inspiration and peace and quiet to work with, without realizing that the muse within is not what she expected. So in other words, it's a haunted house type storyline, and we'll see what happens with how that affects her doing her artwork or whatever. And that just kind of intrigued me a little bit. So I'm looking forward to that one. Second Chances is this book. And basically, it's call and get a new identity. If you call the Second Chances hotline, you call now, you get yourself a new identity. All you need is some cash, a proper referral, and a very good reason to start over. When LeBlanc, the man behind the hotline, is approached by a shady figure from his past, he's forced to accept a new client who doesn't meet any of the requirements. A client with clinically induced amnesia in desperate need of protection. So this is roughly a new upwriter, Ricky Mamone, with artist Max Berloni, who has worked on The Witcher. So if you're familiar with The Witcher, you're familiar with this guy's art. And it's kind of like John Wick from the guys who are trying to make like when John goes and says, I need a new identity, I need new stuff. That's what this is about, kind of sort of thing going on. And again, The Witcher is very popular. It's a game on Kickstarter with over 4.6 million. Okay, yeah, all right. Not surprising at all there. I've talked about Deep Beyond and Jules Verne's Lighthouse in reviews in the past episodes, so I don't really need to talk more about them. Other notable books that I'm not getting from Image, but are worthy of your attention. Echolands #1, page 40, which is basically kind of like a sort of a inspiration for Red Riding Hood or something like that. And it's by the guys who did the Batwoman comic, Blackman and J.H. Williams III and Hayden Blackman. There you go. It has a very Fables-ish type feel to it in a way. Very painterly. It's their main book that they're promoting heavily this month, and it's not that it doesn't interest me per se. I'll probably look at it, but it's not like a guaranteed purchase. The next book is King Spawn #1, which is a new Spawn series, supposedly the first one in decades. I don't know. I don't follow Spawn, so whatever it is. I guess it's writers are Sean Lewis with Todd McFarlane. They got six or seven different artists: Javier Fernandez, Brett Booth, Philip Tan, Steven Segovia, McFarlane, and Marcio Takara. All those are good artists as far as what they do. It's not my thing, but again, whatever. Definitely a mature readers element. It is what it is. We have Ant #1. Eric Larson relaunching Ant. There's going to be 4 covers. There we go. And did a little bit of artwork there. And that was the character that he bought from Mario Gully years ago and is incorporated into his Savage Dragon universe. Let's see what else is there. There's Saint Mercy, 1 of 4. This is an interesting storyline. It's about it's kind of a combination of the Incan Empire meets the American West. And it's about a girl who is like a young teenager. She's a surviving descendant of the Incans, and she's been charged with protecting a cache of cursed gold in their child sacrifice rituals. But when an outlaw tries to steal the gold from his band of thieves, he unknowingly sets events in motion that will unleash an angry god who is willing to travel through the centuries to have what he desires. Pop culture says the new sponsors will generate some sales. I'm sure it will. to some level. I don't think it'll be as successful as initially because none of the books that Todd's done that are new. He keeps saying this is the first new one. I'm like, wait a minute, you just did. They had Haunt, which I know was more Kirkman, but it was still kind of in the Spawn verse, even though I guess Haunt was still Kirkman's character. Angela, when it was before Marvel got the rights to it, Neil Gaiman got the rights and sold it to Marvel. When he did that character, it didn't sell big numbers, so I don't know. We'll see what it does. But John Norris says good evening. You guys are going to have to go back and watch from the beginning of the show because you missed all my Q&A and you missed my crowdfunding talk already tonight. Pop says hello to John. There's Trover Saves the Universe, number 1 of 5. And this is by the one of the co-creators of Rick and Morty, and it's an all-new series that he owns. So, if you like Rick and Morty, you probably will be interested in this. Let's see. I think that is everything that grabbed my attention. An image. Let's check again and make sure. Yep. That being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next section, which is Dark Horse Comics. The books I'm actually ordering are Norse Mythology number 2, number 3 from page 110, and the Hellbound Manga volume number 1 trade paperback on page 116. It's not a lot to realize. Most everything they're offering this month is trades I've already gotten singles, or it's content by writers I'm sick and tired of seeing. Jeff Lemire, Colin Bunn, that like. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean that those are bad writers. I'm just tired of them. I want other people. But there are some other books listed that are worthy, notable books to consider. Killer Queens number 1 of 4 on page 98, which is written by Mark Bucher, which is the guy who writes Kanto. This is a more mature book than what Kanto is. It's about intergalactic assassins for hire, and they're super gay, so there you go. But should be interesting for some folks to check into, I guess. It wasn't my bag, but still at the same time, there is an audience for this, I'm sure. Whoops. Of course, there is the Mignola stuff. If you're into Mignola, Hellboy, BPRD, the Gollum, etc., it's all there. Pop Culture says the Spawn back issues are climbing in price due to new comic and toy series. Okay, well, that's cool. Like I said, not my thing. I don't really follow it that much. Let's see. There is Enigma, the definitive edition. Enigma was originally a Vertigo book. This is the definitive updated edition by the creators in a full hardcover edition. This is on page 106. And it's $25 for a 264-page book. It's not bad and it's a hardcover, so $25 for a hardcover is not bad at all. I'm sure, like I said, there's a lot of people out there. I'm not into Colin Bunn, but those who are into Colin Bunn, they do have Lucky Devil, new series by him, number 1 of 4, and then right next to it is Mafiosa. And I would recommend Mafiosa over Lucky Devil, but that's just my opinion. Mostly because I'm just tired of Colin Bunn. Oops, sorry. There we go. Pushed the wrong button. Again, Norse mythology I already talked about briefly enough. This kind of proves my point about Cullen Bunn. He's got 2 other books from Dark Horse, Harrow County and Parasomnia as well, back to back. So that's 3 books just from Dark Horse for Cullen, and he's got other companies he works for at the same time. That's what I mean about being sick and tired of him. So it's not like, you know, there are other writers out there to publish. We also talked about Hellbound already. But there it is. And part of the reason I'm ordering that is because it has a Netflix series. And part of it is because it is manga, and people say I don't read enough manga, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. Let's see. There's also Orphan and the 5 Beasts, which we've talked about in the singles. If you haven't got the singles, check out the trade paperback. Cats, Perfect Strangers on page 119. That's a comedy type thing about cats and their behaviors with their owners. Just something kind of cool to look at for, I like some of those cat books, but this one, I've got enough right now. I don't need that one right now. Maybe I'll get it someday in the future, but don't need to order it right now. And then there is the Blade of the Mortal Deluxe edition. Volume 4 is the page that they're advertising on page 126, but they do have back order information for the first 3 volumes on the same page, so you can get the whole Blade of the Immortal series. And Blade of the Immortal is one of the classic manga series that if you're a manga fan and you say, I'm a real otaku, then you haven't got this, you need to get it. And that pretty much covers our Dark Horse section. IDW Publishing is Bermuda, number 2 of 4, page 136. Canto 3, Lionhearted, number 2 of 6, page 137. And Usagi Yojimbo, The Dragon Bellow Conspiracy, number 3 of 6 on page 150. Again, maybe not the biggest selection. I'm trying to curb down on my purchases somewhat. I'm buying a lot more online stuff, so if I'm going to spend the extra money online, I got to pick and choose and be a little more concerning about what I order online from Diamond. But there is one other book from IDW that I think people might have interest in, and that's Junk Wraith, trade paperback on page 140. Usagi is always a must-have, yes. This is this way. All right. Junk Wraith. It's kind of wish they put it out more towards the outside instead of the center, because I don't really want to show that Captain Marvel book, but I ain't got a choice, I guess. But that's the artwork for Junk Wraith by Eleanor Ritchie. It is an original work. It is her first published work. It is 288 pages, I believe. And it's 25. And it's a pretty cool, interesting idea. What happens when our most prized possessions and belongings no longer belong? When something we love suddenly becomes junk, a powerful energy is unleashed. One night, ice skating prodigy Florence Sato is overwhelmed by pressure and throws away her skates. This fateful moment accidentally summons a junk wraith, a terrifying ghost which seeks revenge for its abandonment by attacking the memories of its former owner. She forgets who she is and to find out who she really wants to be. Florence was set off with her trusty digital assistant Frank on a long journey into the wastelands to put to rest the monster that she created. I figured that's a pretty cool idea. I hadn't heard of that idea before, and I was like, let's try this, or let's look at this anyway. So I don't know if I'm going to buy it yet or not. I didn't put it on my order list, but I might talk to my retailer and tell them to get it anyway, because it is a cool idea, and I really do wish that they'd put a little more effort into marketing this, other than just a certified cool. It is part of their top shelf line with IDW. I wish they'd put like a full page of the other artwork so that people could see it, because this is her first work being published. So I don't know. They kind of, I mean, when you think you just got the cover and 3 small pages, you really can't tell from that whether or not you really want it. I really do wish they'd done better marketing on that. But, it is what it is. And that's pretty much IDW. For me this month. Marvel. Well, I think most who watch this channel know I don't buy Marvel. But I guess I can give you my honest reaction to the Marvel section. The Trial of Magneto #1. Yeah, I already saw this in 1985 in Uncanny X-Men 200. How's about coming up with a new idea? Fantastic Four #35, their 60th anniversary edition. Okay, so you have John Romita Jr. back at Marvel drawing part of the story. I care because... Oh, wait, I don't. Mostly because I don't give a shit about Dan Slott, Mark Waid, and would punt them from the industry entirely. Pass. Black Panther #1. Not much interest in the character or the creative team. And I just love how their hot Stormbreaker artist, Juan Cabal, can't even be featured in the solicitation. It has an Alex Ross main cover, a John Romita Jr. and a Simone Bianchi alternate covers. If you can't even give your interior artist a cover to market to the public, how good of an artist are they really? Just asking. King the Conqueror #1 of 5. If I'm honest, the concept does interest me, just not enough to order it in advance. I might look at it when it comes out. I don't know. I can't say I have a confidence in the creative team to tell this story. I don't know the creative team very much. It seems like the kind of story that someone like Kurt Busiek should be writing. But okay, whatever. Defenders #1 of 5. Again, the creative team and the roster characters just aren't doing it for me. I feel like I'm getting an ersatz effed up version of the 1980s era. The 2 women characters, especially. I'm trying to. Where is the booklet? I had it. Oh dear. I can't find it. Shoot. Just a second. Let me see if I can. I don't know what I did with it. I apologize. One sort of looks like Cloud. Another one is called Harpy. She looks like a female knockoff of the Gargoyle character that used to be a member in the Defenders in the late run of the 80s series. And it just made me feel like, why am I bothering? Darkhawk 1 of 5. This is the black kid version of the character because of the solicitation and text. He's a basketball player. He's this, he's that, and in the drawing of the design of the character, they try to make him look more badass and menacing. Because we can't possibly create a black hero who isn't an aggressive looking character. Not my thing. Passing on that. And Mark Andrew Smith has joined us. How you doing there, Mark? I'm not going to go through every book. You're getting the idea of what goes through my mind as I peruse their catalog. I'm looking through the whole book, honestly, and there's just nothing here for me. I guess if you like Busiek, the Marvels #4 should be ordered, and it should be good art with Yildiray Sonar drawing it. I have confidence in Yildiray. So, okay, that might be a decent book. I know I'm supposed to care about Immortal Hulk #49, given that #50 is the final issue and people have been talking about it incessantly. But the truth is, I haven't read any of it. Maybe someday I'll borrow a trade collection from a library, but I just can't find much interesting. Okay, I did find something I can recommend if you've got the budget. What If the original Marvel series omnibus, volume 2 hardcover? But that's $125 for one book. Yeah, it's over 1,000 pages. I'm not saying it's not theoretically worth the money. It's just a shit ton of money to plunk down on what is a reprint book. If this was 50 or 75 bucks, then yeah, I'd say, yeah, definitely get it. That's kind of the sad part. They had to charge you an arm, a leg, and a kidney to get anything potentially decent. There's one more problem with that section. Let me show you something. This is a Marvel Omnibus hardcover. This is the Guardians of the Galaxy Solo Classics, which has a bunch of Captain Marvels and Star-Lords and stuff like that in it. Okay? Now, this was $125 hardcover. You see it's shrink wrap. Take a good look at the price on that. And I didn't pay that much for it. I paid half. Welcome to reality, Marvel. Cut your goddamn prices down to where the fuck they should be. Enough said. I'm not saying you got to do it lower, but 50, maybe 75 is top out. 125, forget it. That's why you have this overstock, and Ollie's is buying them at cents on the dollar, and they're selling it at $20. And I got it for half off because I went in on a 50% off book day. So there you go. And here's the thing. I got that in November. Okay? Here we are in June, and I still haven't even cut the shrink wrap off of it. That tells you how important or lack of importance there is of Marvel in my life. I wish I could say otherwise, but it's the truth. Someday I'll get to reading that, and I want to read it. It's just that I get so much stuff on a week-to-week basis that I never get to it. Now, that also means there's some other things as well. Epic collection, Crisis on Counter-Earth was worth the money. Same with the Fantastic Four Epic collections and the Marvel Masterworks and Avengers Volume 1, Coming of Avengers trade paperback. Those are released in the semi-affordable range, $25 to $40 range. But again, here we are talking 1960s to early 1980s Marvel when the company didn't suck. So that's pretty much my thoughts on Marvel. Sorry I can't find much else to be positive about. I wish there were. I genuinely do. But let's cut back to the regular catalog again. Because that's kind of where they do the thing right in the smack of the middle of the catalog is where they put a page of Marvel and you're supposed to go to the Marvel catalog and look. Dynamite Comics. If you're into Kiss or Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, or Red Sonja, or Barbarella, or Vaporella, or Brittany Page, okay, their books might be of interest to you. It's like Dynamite does sex girl books with tons of cosplay bimbo covers. My question is, why not just make Fumetti comics with the cosplayers? That would probably sell even better for them if they actually did it. I don't know how they do it, but that would be what they should do. Boom Studios. The only thing I'm ordering is Eve #4. But on page 188, Eat the Rich looks kind of interesting. It's a 1 out of 5. written by Sarah Galley with art by P.S. Bach. Variety of covers. It's kind of like a horror comic. Cannibalism going on with the rich or something like that. I do like the top center cover. Who is doing that cover? That's Jimmy Frazone. Of course, it's a variant, but that's a nice one as far as the cover goes. But it's not exactly a shock because it's basically her doing Lady Killer, just again, just with a different woman. There's also Better Angels, a Kate Warren adventure. This is alternate history. Kate Warren is a detective who saves Abraham Lincoln from a different assassination attempt prior to the one that actually killed him. All licenses stuff that I just don't care about. Of course, I did tell you about Eve number 4 out of 5. Hopefully that'll be tying up real well. And I think that is all for IDW, which takes us to the cover, people. The porcelain and a man's skin. That's from Ablaze Comics. I'm not buying either one, but I do think people should take a look at them. This is Maria Lovett's Porcelain number 1. It's kind of a, I don't know. It's the Vertigo type stuff with a character who gets caught up with becoming kind of like a they're stuck inside of a house and they're like trying not to become the possessed doll, I guess you could say, in the house or whatever. So there's that. And then a man's skin. And this is a kind of a transgender, but not really. Basically, it's Victorian times, and a woman has a man bodysuit and pretends to be a guy to find out what the guy that she's supposedly being told she has to marry is really like before she marries him. And it is it's won like 7 awards. It's won the Grand Prix, all these awards over in France and Europe, basically. It won, oh, geez, I can't even read half of this stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4 Grand Prix awards. Won an Angoulême award, which is the French major French convention top level award. Won a library, best book for library for 2021. Just a whole lot of stuff. So it is a good book, obviously. So, I'm not sure. Again, they're making a big deal of Pride Month, gay, LGBTQ. I don't really care about that. It has, you don't have to do LGBTQ to understand that this is about a person pretending to be someone else to find out the truth about others. Mm-hmm. The library is for smelly dudes, reading is for nerds. Okay. But anyway, that would be all I would think about from Ablaze. Aftershock, there's quite a bit of stuff I'm getting from Aftershock. I'm getting Rainbow Bridge on 228. If you don't know what the Rainbow Bridge is, when you lose your pet, they usually give you a little poem that says your pet is passed on to heaven across the Rainbow Bridge. And that's what this is. This kid has to actually go across Rainbow Bridge and help his pets who has passed on, type storyline. So that kind of interested me because I've lost quite a few pets in my life. And I was, it kind of reminded me of my own youth in that respect. I wanted to see what they did with it. So I'm going to get that one. Next one I'm getting is got a Tremors one shot. Mostly I'm getting that from the writer Peter Milligan. It's a 19th century Gothic story. A kid has his first seizure and he gets pulled out of school and hidden away at his family's country estate. And they try to exorcise the devil, even though it's not what he has. Okay. Very weird. I've never had that happen before. We had a troll in the chat impersonating another member in the chat. Crazy. Ready? Anyway, so there's that book. Again, got Tremors, Clans of Bellari. I'm not sure if I ordered number 1 or not, but it's a science fiction book. There's Out of Body number 3. I just ordered number 1. Again, it's another Peter Mulligan. It's not Mulligan, it's Milligan, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know why they put Mulligan there, but oh well, it doesn't matter. Anaki Miranda. It should be a good book. I'll let you know what I think of number 1 next week on Monday. And then there is Girls Dimension 13, which of course I've been reviewing from Grant Nolan and Brett Blevins. Let's see what else we got. Binge books. I don't know what. Okay, that's a little bit further down where I thought. There's something else I want to show you. Ted Nafa's Witch for Hire. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Ted Nafa is the one who does Courtney Crumrin, and he did Gloom Cookie for a while, and I think he did some. He worked with Daniel Brereton on Nocturnals a little bit, but Witch for Hire. I might get that one. Yeah, Mark says he's a cool guy. Yeah, I'm actually going to try and get Ted on the show to talk about that one. That's why it says check mark and try to get Ted. That means try to get a hold of him and get him on the show. So, yeah, I don't know why that one wasn't mentioned. I guess I just missed it as I was running through this. Let's see. Past Aspen, past Avatar. Okay, here we are, binge books. That's the Heroes Union. 68 pages. Roger Stern, Ron Friends, and Sal Buscema. So if you're into the old school Marvel, old school DC type stuff, this might be something of interest to you. That's from Binge Books. It's $5 for 68 pages. Good price. So that's a possibility. There's Everfrost 3. I just bought Everfrost 1 this week, so unless that book really disappoints me, I'll get that. And then there's Cinebook. Problem is I don't trust Diamond when it comes to Cinebook. I would have ordered these books, but I typically have to mail all my Cinebook stuff from the publisher direct out of the UK and have it pay shipping out my ass for that stuff. But there is the volume 1 and volume 2 of Miss Endicott. And that is Victorian female Sherlock Holmesian type storytelling. Let's see what else we got. Got quite a bit to go yet. Drawing Quarterly. I have to recommend Super Mutant Magic Academy on page 284. It's by Jillian Tamaki, and it's just a kind of a cool storyline. She serialized it online for 4 years, about adolescence and think of it as Harry Potter with super mutants instead of, I guess, I don't know, but it's kind of a cool thing. Prep school for mutants and witches, basically. And so I'm looking forward to that. If you haven't seen it, I should say you should. I would recommend that to you. Fantagraphics on page 291. I got 3 for the Money and Other Stories, Daddy Lost His Head and Other Stories, and 40 Wax and Other Stories. All those are by Jack Kamen and Al Feldstein. Big fan of the Jack Kamen stuff. Got to get that stuff, basically. There's also Usagi Yojimbo book on page 291. It's the special hardcover edition for $100. I don't know what all it just says. It doesn't give you enough information on that one, but it's backed by popular demand. So I guess if people want that, I think it's like the really early stuff. But that's the same stuff that IDW is reprinting right now. So I would just say get the IDW stuff myself. On page 293, we have Frank Cho Pencil and Ink. I'm getting the soft cover edition. There's a hardcover edition. The soft cover is $25. The hardcover is $40. It's 128 pages. It's all him doing his pencils only or his crosshatch inking style stuff. How many pages is it color? I presume you're talking about that that Usagi book. It doesn't say. Mark. Whoops. You can kind of see that's all the information it has. Is it says Usagi Yojimbo, the special edition, hardcover edition by Stan Sakai, $100. So apparently it's fairly thick. I presume it's black and white, not color, but I don't know. There's just not enough information on that one. But again, I would probably recommend the IDW editions anyway, just for affordability's sake. But that's just me. Again, Pencil and Ink by Cho. The reason I have a question mark on mine is because you can actually get it from them on Kickstarter right now if you wanted to order it early. There's also a Bruce Timm Naughty and Nice revised edition of Naughty and Nice. So, that's 256 pages, $45. That's also available via Kickstarter through Flesk Publications, the publisher. So if you looked up Flesk Publications or you looked up Frank Cho or Bruce Timm on Kickstarter, you'd probably find those books available. From Heavy Metal Magazine, they got Eva graphic novel, page 299, this is a resolicitation from an earlier issue of previews. Just keep wanting to get that. There's, of course, Heavy Metal 309 and Tarna Elements One Shot for $2.99. I'm sure many people will be complaining about the Tarna book, but who knows? I don't know if anybody's been watching our T-Bears channel, but yesterday they had a big whoopee-doo about the fact that some fans are complaining because in the most recent Tarna miniseries, they took her out of the leather bikini, pseudo-bikini armor and gave her full armor to cover up her skin. And fanboys are complaining. And it's like, why are you complaining? It fits the story. She got killed in the original costume, and they resurrected her, and they put her in another costume because she's not strong enough yet. What's the beef? But fanboys will be fanboys, I guess. I don't know. But they made a big show out of that, and I was like, really? That's what you're doing a show on? Okay, But anyway, just thought I'd bring that up because I thought that was rather silly. From Humanoids, we have First Degree. That's his talk about. It's an anthology book. David Walker, a few other people are in there that I like. I'm probably going to get this through my library. I have talked to my librarian to get them to order it instead of me getting a copy of it for myself, mostly just because of space than anything else. They need more anthology type stuff and short story stuff in their collections anyway. So, but it's got David F. Walker, who writes Bitterroot and some other books that I read. I don't read Bitterroot anymore, but he's done other things I like. Sidney Duncan, there's others. Another reason I'm interested in it is JP Mavinga is drawing, and I haven't seen JP in a long time, so I want to see what he comes up with. There's other potential artwork from Humanoids as well. But you kind of have to look in the book yourself on that one. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about them. It's Alive Publications. Has 3 books. Holler number 4. We've talked about Holler plenty of times on the show. Strange Attractors number 5 with 3 variant covers. I'll probably go with the classic. And then Tangled River, which is this guy spotlight feature, which is currently being crowdfunded on Kickstarter. So you might want to look on Kickstarter for that one. Tangled River. Let's see what that's about. didn't really see much again through the book until we got to the S's. So I'm trying to get to them. Scout Comics. I'm getting Life Formed, or, well, I was thinking about getting Life Formed. Redshift, I'm definitely getting. Steak, I'm definitely getting. There's also Cherry Blackbird, which is kind of a weird book. Apparently, it's you've heard of the 27 curse about the musicians who've all died at the age of 27. The character Cherry Blackbird's a rock star who's 26, and she's made a deal with the devil, and she'll die at 27 and have her soul taken to hell unless she collects a bunch of escaped demons. So I'm kind of interested to see where that goes. I don't know yet. So there's that possibility. And then, like I said, there's Life Formed, which I have a question mark by. And the reason I have a question mark by it was I wasn't sure if it was a new story or if it was reprinting the stuff that Dark Horse already collected in these two trades, which, as you can see, I already have. It is these stories with additional revised materials. And once they get done with them, they'll start the third story arc, just so everybody knows what's going on. So having read these, I do recommend getting Life Formed. It's a pretty cool storyline. It's about a teenage girl, alien invasion, and she's kind of like trying to fight off the aliens type thing going on. So it's that kind of a storyline. It's a pretty cool book. Mm-hmm. And then we have Tomorrow's Publishing, which has 3 books. Black Issue number 131. Let's see, that's on page 361. It's a Kirby issue, kind of. Has the Etrigan the Demon on it. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Because it's about basically the Kirby era of DC there. I'm also getting Comic Book Creator number 26, which is a feature on Terry Dotson. And Al Plastino, for those who don't know, he was a Gold and Silver Age artist. And he was the guy who was the last Superman standing. And this is about his career, including his 2 decades on Superman, where he co-created Supergirl, Brainiac, the Legion of Superheroes, the Crypto, the Superdog, all that stuff goes back to Al Plastino. So this was an extensive interview and retrospective on his career for $17.95, and they just concluded it like 2 weeks before he died. So this is like really right at the end of his life, and right there, we get to see a legend of sorts in our business get explored. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a cool book. Let me grab the second one out here. It's not in the. Here we go. Come on, read. Come on, clear up. Okay, well, I'll read it to you. Orphaned in the wake of an alien invasion, Clea left behind the life she knew to fight for the future of Earth. Now she and Alex, the shape-shifting rebel alien posing as her father, make a fearsome team in a guerrilla war against the invaders. That's the second book. So you can imagine what the first book was. It was like her making contact with the alien that's pretending to be her dad. That's a kind of a cool storyline. But again, definitely got to recommend that Al Plastino book, though. He is such an influential person that nobody ever talks about. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting that and reviewing that book. And that's pretty much it for me as far as the previews this month. There were a few things I've noticed in the manga section that I might have recommended, but seeing as it's all mid-story arc and I have no idea how available the prior volumes are, I don't see a point in talking about them and getting you guys interested in something midstream that you can't get the back issues on. I hope I covered enough material in the book as far as previews goes. Now, of course, we haven't talked about DC Comics. Well, the reason we didn't talk about DC is because DC's not in previews anymore. But we can talk about it. Just give me a second. There we go. I got to share the right screens. This is what's coming out from DC. And it is a big Suicide Squad month because they're going to do it in conjunction with the movie release. Okay, fine. But let's go through it real quick. Batman the World, I'm really not that interested, but it's basically just a ton of different people from France, Spain, Italy, Germany, Poland, Turkey, Mexico, Brazil, Korea, China, each doing their own take on what Batman is, I guess. And, I imagine at 160 pages, some people will want it because it's new. Most of these people, you don't know who they are. At least most American audiences won't know who they are. I know who they are because I'm familiar with enough European and Asian market creators for the most part, but that doesn't mean I'm really wanting them necessarily. That doesn't mean they're not. That also doesn't mean they're not good artists. I mean, Nicola Mari is awesome from Italy, and I'm buying that one book from Aftershock that Peter Kowalski's drawing. So obviously, I don't have a problem with him. But again, it's just I don't care. It's Batman. It's over and done for me. There's a new Fear State Alpha, whatever. Again, you got 3 artists doing the cover, but not the interior artist. I don't understand that stuff. Have your interior artist do your cover. I Am Batman. This is the new Black Batman, who was Batwing, I guess, who's now Batman in the storyline, I guess. I don't know. It's just there. This is the origin story of that character when he comes back to Gotham City. Okay. So I guess this character's been around a while. I don't know. There's Hardware Season 1. All of the new Milestone comics. Milestone returns. This is number 1. There's another number 1 here in a minute. I think they brought back Hardware. Icon and Rocket and Static. And I guess Static's already been out or will be out later this month for number 1, because I guess they're listing number 3 for August. But, I'm probably going to look at all the Milestone books just to take a look at them, but I don't know whether or not I'll get any of them, but I'll certainly look at them. Presumably, it's Sandman Universe. Has to do with the Lock and Key. I don't know. It's an interesting crossover idea. It would be, I don't know if people are interested in that. Gabriel Rodriguez is a good artist. So you're going to get solid art out of the book, that's for sure. But I don't care about Lock and Key enough, and I don't know. But potentially there is something there for people to be interested in. Now here's something kind of interesting. Batman 89, number 1. Written by Sam Hamm, who wrote the original script for Batman, the Tim Burton Batman. Pencils and inks by Joe Quiones. Unfortunately, that is not the Joe Quiones cover. That is the Jerry Ordway variant cover, as far as I can see, because that is definitely Jerry Ordway artwork, not Joe Quiones. Nothing wrong with Joe Quiones as an illustrator. I'm sure he'll do a nice job. It's $3.99. I don't know how many pages how many issues this is going to be, but it might be of interest since it is basically telling what they were going to do with the original storyline with Billy D. Williams as Two-Face and stuff like that. So that might be interesting. Mm-hmm. Then we have Superman 78, which continues the story of the Christopher Reeve era Superman. He's taking on Brainiac. Artwork is by Wilfredo Torres. I don't know. I don't really see where he does a very good job of capturing the likenesses of the actors, particularly, but, I don't know. Unless that's Doc Shaner's cover. I don't think it is, though. Let's see. That looks more like Doc Shaner's cover to me. I don't know. It doesn't matter which cover it is. It's just, yeah. But, again, if you're interested in that old storyline and what they would have done in the movies had certain things gone different ways than it had, this is how desperate DC is for content. They're taking stuff from 40, 50 years ago that was not used and trying to make us care. And I think it's one of 6, but, I could be wrong. Whoops. I don't know. We'll see what it is when it comes out. Superman versus Lobo. Been there, done that. Don't care. Clown Hunter. Don't know the character. Don't care. A Joker. I don't care about anything to do with Joker. Is that the Joker or is that James Syme, the guy who owns the Isotope bar and comic shop in California? I mean, I could actually see it being him more than the Joker with that cover. Anyway, Pennyworth. This is them telling the story based off of the TV series that they made with Alfred being MI6 or ex-MI6. May be of interest, may not be. This is during the Cold War era. Nice cover, although it doesn't really look like a, I don't know what, I guess it's supposed to be a seahorse of some kind, and I don't know why that has legs. Seahorses don't have legs. I don't know what that, okay, whatever. um, $10 for 100 pages, a bunch of new storylines supposedly. Yeah. Kind of it's just there. Batman, Superman. Really didn't need to flip covers by Brian Hitch. If you got Paul Pelletier and Francesco Francavilla doing the interiors, they should have had one of them do the covers rather than Brian Hitch, in my opinion. But okay, whatever. This is the new Green Lantern annual, and apparently, if you've been reading the Green Lantern stuff recently, Ryan Cady and Sam Basri did a story about Jessica Cruz taking on the Yellow Lanterns power ring, and what is she going to do with it? That's what this story is going to be, basically. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I wasn't that interested in it when I saw it as a backup story, so I'm not interested in seeing a whole issue devoted to it. Harley Quinn, David LaFuente's cover is okay, I guess, but I really don't care. Suicide Squad annual. It's just there. Midnighter, nobody cares. Suicide Squad with a John Cena cover. There you go. Gotta have the John Cena cover. This supposedly is written by Jerry Conway and has art by John Byrne. And yet you've got John Cena on the cover. Yeah, it's 216 pages, $20. It's worth the money, I'm sure. It's almost a slap in John Byrne's face to have John Cena photo cover type image on one of his books. I mean, have John at least draw John Cena, for God's sake, But, Alrighty, buddy. We'll see you guys on Friday night show. Another photo cover. This is written by John Ostrander with art by Luke McDonald. Photo cover with, whatever her name actress is. I can't think of her name right now. Doing Harley Quinn. It's like, okay, whatever. I don't know. More Harley Quinn, more Suicide Squad. This is supposed to be the storyline by John Ostrander that they're actually adapting into the movie. So I guess if you want to read the story that leads into what the movie is going to be about, Trial by Fire is the one to get. Some more Suicide Squad. Like I said, they're doing a whole lot of Suicide Squad here, to the point where I was like, I don't even care. Like 8-10 books. It's like, bit much, but okay. I guess they really expect that Suicide Squad movie to be a major hit. Amethyst Princess of Gem World. We've done this enough times. We don't need another one of these. it's just, you know, you just had one by Amy Reeder. Why did you need to do this with another even more kid anime style? I don't know. This shouldn't have been made. I'm sorry. This is the free comic book day preview of Beast Boy Loves Raven. I don't know. I don't have a problem with the idea of Beast Boy and Raven in a relationship. I just wish the art was more. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with the art on the cover here. I just it doesn't really grab me. It's all shade cell type artwork, and it's just kind of flat to me. I guess I don't know. Just not into it. You get a preview of Batman, Fear State, and I Am Batman. Don't really care. Another Suicide Squad book. They're going to talk about She Squad, King Shark. I'm like, okay, whatever. The Superman books, they're there. Batman 111. The pose just doesn't look right to me at all. Just looks too twisty or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Just I'm not digging that cover at all, unfortunately. So, but again, this is about the fear state and everything else. I'm just kind of like, whatever. Batman Reptilian. If you get it, it's because you're getting it for Garth Ennis and Liam Sharp. I don't care about either one that much. Batman Adventures Continue Season 2. That's something I am getting. I kind of wish that they would let the writers for this stuff write the regular Batman and do a different artist with their stories. Then I would read regular Batman. And John says he's got to go to bed as well. I'll see you around. Have a good one. Not a whole lot overall here. We just keep going through it. Again, it's not like anything here is bad. It's just not anything that's grabbing me as a reader. Green Lantern #5 I will get. Story by Jeffrey Thorne. Not a big fan of the art team, but it is what it is. Far Sector's Joe Moline begins to investigate the suspects most likely responsible for the destruction of the Green Lantern Corps. She winds up face to face with Sinestro, and it's about basically about Joe and John Stewart and different things and with those two characters. And I know that a lot of fans complain because it's a black writer focusing on two black Green Lanterns. Green Lantern's about Hal Jordan. No, it's not. Green Lantern's about thousands of characters, and it'd be nice to put Hal Jordan in the back corner for a while and let there be focus on other characters. And if it just so happens that make a black writer who wants to focus on some of the black characters, so be it. So I'm looking forward to reading that. I've been reading Green Lantern with Thorne, and I've enjoyed it so far, so I don't see any reason why I won't still. Not really into the Harley Quinn cover. There's another one of those milestone return books. I kind of rock it. Infinite Frontier, it's just there. Again, another Infinite Frontier. The Justice League books don't really appeal to me. They're Bendis books, and just I don't care. The Justice League Infinity #2, I might look at it when it gets in the store. I don't know for sure. Legends of the Dark Knight. I wish they would get to a creative team I want to read, but I'll keep checking out the Legends of the Dark Knight until I'll get it when they finally put a creative team storyline I want to read. But hopefully they won't lose their readership before that happens. Mr. Miracle, Source of Freedom. I'm not sure what I think about that. Again, writer I respect and Brandon Easton. Fico Ossio is a decent enough artist. I remember I bought some of this stuff from Dark Horse a while back. We reviewed them. No One Left to Fight. But it's been a while since I've seen his work. I'm not really into the Shiloh Norman character, unfortunately. So, we'll see. Nice cover for Nightwing in terms of conceptual design, but at the same time, kind of weird. The Robin stuff, Rorschach, it's a cool image, but I don't know what to think of it. Don't care about Ruby Justice League. Scooby Doo, it is what it is. Sensational Wonder Woman. This is the last issue of the story arc or series. There's a trade collection of it later on. Unfortunately, John just left. Otherwise, well, maybe he'll come back and look at it. Maybe he won't. Shazam #204 has Clayton Henry art. Might be of some interest to him. Might not be. Billy Batson goes to hell, basically. As he's searching for the missing Rock of Eternity. So it should be kind of interesting to see what that goes on. Again, there's your last the milestone return book. Static is #3 from season 1 of that thing. I'm not against it. I just don't know. Again, I haven't seen any of the milestone return books. I'll have to look at them when they get in the stores. Suicide Squad, some more stuff. Don't really care about the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow stuff. Don't care about Superman and the Authority. Don't care about the Superman Red and Blue particularly. Overall, I'm just, kind of there for a lot of this stuff. Nice cover for this of Zatanna for Truth and Justice. It's a one-shot story, I guess. She gets trapped in another dimension, can't use her magic to get out. How's she going to escape or get free? None of the Wonder Woman stuff really grabs my attention. These are all collections. If you haven't gotten Arkham Asylum and given that a read, you might want to get the Arkham Asylum Deluxe Edition. It's a little expensive, but $35 for it. It's worth it, I guess, overall. I can't remember how many pages the story is, but it is a classic storyline. So if you haven't seen it or haven't read it, that's something certainly worth your time and consideration. Batman The Long Halloween Deluxe Edition, 416 pages for $50. Yeah, okay, it is a hardcover. As far as I know, it's a hardcover. Yeah, it is. Okay, that's another classic storyline that you might want to get into if you haven't read it, or you can just wait and watch the DVD because I guess there's a DVD movie coming out. But I don't know, it's kind of a both type situation there. Batwoman Omnibus. If you were interested in that Echo Land when I was talking about that from Image, this is the stuff that they did before that and might be worth your time to check into. But it's expensive. It's $100 for 888 pages. I don't know. It's rough. And then that Wonder Woman I just mentioned about, and I didn't know about, the Sensational Wonder Woman, that one that was finishing up the story arc. This is the trade that collects that entire story arc, offered the same time as the last issue of the story arc. Not a good idea, in my opinion. Should have been waiting a while before you did that so that the retailers could sell whatever remainders they had of earlier issues. But okay, 144 pages, $17. It is what it is. Man of Steel Volume 4 has John Byrne covered. They don't show it, of course. Story and art by Various. A lot of the Superman wedding issues and stuff like that, I guess. So, yeah, okay. Books of Magic, $150 for almost 1,500 pages of material. That's not a coffee table book. That's your book that you drop on someone's head from the ceiling or something. You want to kill them. Jesus Christ, a 1,500 page book. That's crazy. Lolo Woods, Daphne Byrne, all that stuff is okay. Plunge was all. I reviewed Plunge. I wasn't all that into it, and why. A bunch of Wonder Woman trades because this is Wonder Woman month as well as Suicide Squad. For $40, you get 4 trades and kind of the DC animated U style. As far as I know, Batman Adventures, Cat Got Your Tongue, Supergirl Adventures, Girl of Steel, Batman Adventures, Batgirl, League of Her Own, and Justice League Unlimited Girl Power. All Superwomen. If you're into that sort of thing, might be worth your time. Saga of the Swamp Thing box set. It's $120, but it's the entire Alan Moore run. So all 6 volumes, everything Alan Moore did for $120 in a slipcase box set. Probably worth the money if you haven't already got it. Cannot recommend the Hill House box set because, well, all those books I just said, Lolo, Woods, Daphne Byrne, all that, Plunge, that's all just there in a slipcase for $100. Well, let's go back up again real quick. And what do they want for these? 18, and 18. So 18 times 3 is 54 for 3. And they're charging you $100 for 2 more books in the case. It's a little bit much, I think. I don't know. I don't know. I'd just as soon spend 5 books at 18 a piece for 90 and not worry about having a slipcase personally, but that's just my view, I guess. And that's it for DC. So that reviews and covers all of the stuff that's available through the major publishers for coming out in August of this year, and it's stuff that you can order through your previews catalog or online through the DC lineup. Okay, so where does that leave us for today? Well, that leaves us with whoops, that's not what I wanted. That was a weird thing. Alrighty. There we go. Wingman, Art of Lewis Brett Raven, Volume 1. This is my art historical textbook on my career from mid-'80s to 2011. Has over 50 illustrations going back to the 1980s. If you want to get a copy of this book, regular edition, this signed is $9.95. Say $20 for the shipping and handling. Personalized sketch is $25. That's including shipping and handling. It's $15 plus shipping and handling. Order at PayPal to Quoth the Raven LBR 72@gmail.com. Subject Wingman Book. When you order for the Wingman Book and you want a personalized sketch, just tell me what character it is you want. Taking orders, and if you want your sketch drawn on the show, I can have it drawn live here on the show. If you want to reach me, you can reach me at Facebook, Lewis.BrightRaven, on Twitter at LewisBrightRave2. You can look at some of my artwork at deviantart.com/BrightRaven. You're watching Quoth the Raven, Lewis BrightRaven on YouTube. If you have questions or you want to order something, Quoth the Raven LBR72@gmail.com. Or if I can't reach me there, try LewisBrightRaven@yahoo.com. Mondays, we'll do comics, news, and reviews. Wednesdays, we do What Did You Get This Week. Thursdays at 9 p.m. is our roundtable talk. Friday nights is genre night. This week, tomorrow night, 9 p.m., I will be discussing various DC shows and movies, including Justice Society World War II, Superman, Man of Tomorrow, and Doom Patrol, the complete season 2. That will be tomorrow at 9 p.m. And then live draw this weekend, Saturday 1 to 6. It's not just a live draw, it is a live draw vault sale. And so I will have all new original art for sale, original sketches, books, sketch cards, prints, you name it. And I'll be there from 1 to 6 p.m. on Saturday for that. Okay? And that is what's coming up for this weekend. So until then, I will bid you all adieu. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night at 9 p.m.